Hi, hi, hello, hello. We have another chapter of Yugami-kun. I actually started reading this just a second ago, and then my computer entirely crashed. Fortunately, I only got to the first page, but it was a little scary, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. So yeah, I was talking about how nice the last chapter was, how beautiful I thought the balance was between some pretty hardcore baseball action, probably the most kind of intensely focused we've been into the baseball side of the story, and then a wonderful little sentimental tour through the yearly festival, which ended in quite a moment between Yugami and Chihiro. But nothing, of course, definitive or explicit. I'm not quite sure what direction the series is ultimately going to go in. But here we see something much less kind and cute. Watanabe-kun, in the midst of studying for exams, takes a second to angry post on Twitter in the rudest possible way. I don't know if it's actually Twitter. It looks like maybe some other app, and that he's still using like one of the default icons or whatever. You know how a lot of default, like on Google products and stuff, it'll just show the first letter of your name as your display picture if you don't set one. Um, but the first character in his name would be Wa. I don't know why it's Ha, unless it's supposed to be like the particle Wa, because sometimes Ha is pronounced Wa if it's being used as a grammatical particle. None of this is interesting. Let's just move on. I thought this ranking at the top was quite interesting too. Not just in terms of how it actually reflects an average Japanese high schooler, but how little it reflects Yugami-kun. Whoa! How can you say something so cruel? This is a community for advice, you know. Who could this be? But Chihiro-chan. Our lovely Chihiro-chan. Starting at... Oh no! So, the person making the original post, which makes sense because his display picture is this like statue, and he's a big history buff, is Ryota-kun. A minor character that we've seen here and there, but I think has been developed really nicely. Uh, Way at the top, Watanabe-kun is posting way. I'm not sure why. Hmm. How about you accept someone like me who doesn't accept diversity? Well, there you go. In a nutshell, this has the sticking point of, I'd say, a good two-thirds of all internet arguments is that people don't understand this, which is called the paradox of tolerance, where you can't be tolerant of the intolerant because the intolerant will shove out those people whom you are tolerating, right? Like it's not a consistent opinion to be tolerant of intolerance. It's not showing that you're actually truly tolerant, that you can tolerate even intolerance, because the I don't know. All right, it's it's called the paradox of tolerance. It's very well studied. It's very well understood. And if I could just beam one Wikipedia article into the consciousness of every single person posting on the internet, it would be that one. I think, unless I chose like the Wikipedia article for Senko-san or something, just for fun. So they're arguing. It seems like they don't know who the other one is. I'm not sure if this is like a pseudonymous board just for students in their class or their high school. I think that would make a lot more sense because, otherwise, what are the odds that the three of them have to all be having a conversation? So I think this is like, yeah, this community is restricted to Kamiyoshi High's third year students. Please stop fighting. Just wanted to share my worries about this feature. I like this little glimpse into Ryota's room. Pretty minimal, of course, but a few historic type artifacts. But yeah, this is interesting. This is something that I think is much more common in Japan than in North America. Or alternatively, it just wasn't very common either in the era that I was going through school or in the areas that I was going to school in, which were very rural. But yeah, having localized message boards, having community groups online, especially pseudonymous ones, restricted to only your school, to me is like a very novel idea that seems doomed to train wreck, just completely doomed from the start to be just an absolute garbage fire all the time. But you know, that's just how it is. I guess the closest thing I've come to that is my university has a subreddit, and it's terrible. It's never go there. At any rate, so everyone has problems. Ah, so people worried about the future, people worried about clubs. There's all those sections kind of based on that original ranking breakdown. But here we cut to Yugami-kun in the bath. Even he has problems. The future, what should I do? He wants to live alone. He's been really fired up on that idea lately. But the deal he made with his family is that only if the baseball team gets to go to Koishan does he get to live alone. Now he's trying to figure out another route. If he works part-time, somehow, he can afford it. Whoa! Chihiro in the most revealing thing we've ever seen anyone wearing in this entire manga, I think. Shocking. Truly shocking. I wonder if it pertains at all to the chapter. And here we see, in the background, of course, Yugami-kun walking. I think this dog's name is Subaru, the dog he was thinking about in the last chapter. Right? There is a scene like that. The dog that he helped raise. And his shirt says peace, just like he wrote on the inner brim of his baseball cap to try to calm himself down. The new semester. Ah, it's Yugami-kun's self-appointed best friend, who shows up at the start of every new semester, apparently. So, of course, if you don't recall, this guy is the amateur Rakugo writer who made the mistake of requesting Yugami-kun's feedback, which Yugami-kun provided in excessive, brutal detail, marking up his scripts to high heaven, covering it in post-it notes and stuff. But the two of them do seem to have kind of a bond of mutual respect, maybe. It doesn't seem like Yugami-kun totally discredits his work, doesn't think he's totally worthless. He puts so much effort into helping him. Guy has a best friend. I was thinking, we'll hang out with that weird bastard. So Watanabe is still very, very anti-Yugami. I talked about this a bit in the previous video, which is lost now because the computer crashed. But Watanabe-kun is definitely one of the least sympathetic characters in the series. He's kind of an asshole. All of the plot involvement he's had has been him usually mucking things up in some way or another. But he doesn't feel like a caricature. He doesn't feel like not a real human being. And it's not like I live despite him. I think his role in the story is like good and interesting. And what I'd like to see is just him grow as a person, as so many other characters in this series have. Yeah. Yeah, stick up for him, Gashi, whoever you are. Yugami-kun is an amazing man. It's not far-fetched to think he'd have a best friend or two. Wow. Wait, is this history guy? I thought he looked different. Oh yeah, it is Yagashi. Never mind. He was just calling him a nickname for some reason. They like kind of became closer, and for a while it kind of seemed like the arc would be Yagashi learns to hang out with like the popular normal kids. He kind of loses some of his anxiety. But instead he's kind of more forged his own path, I think. That he's really come to respect Yugami-kun. Yeah. Couldn't stop his dedication to Yugami thanks to the baseball relay. Oh, the whole historical research group watching him on TV. Wow. He's not Yugami-kun anymore. He's Yugami-san now. Wow. I like that they're focused on the heat stroke. This is like their only point of comparison. They haven't done sports, but all they can like compare it to is being outside in that heat, which they've unfortunately had to do occasionally. Okay, so they head out to the hall. Yugami-kun, of course, diligently gets a slip, a hall pass. I want to look after a piece for the cultural festival. Where is it? I don't have one. Literature is dead. I've given up my dreams of becoming a novelist. What? That's the one thing you can't do. Come on. Giving up a dream of being an astronaut. Sure. Whatever. Who even wants to be an astronaut? You can just look at videos of space. Giving up your dreams to become a pro musician. Sure. Like, well, it's a tiring lifestyle. You basically put yourself through hell for what? The rock and roll lifestyle? Like, come on. Rock and roll death style is more like it. But giving up your dream of becoming a novelist, a pursuit that only just takes yourself in a room with a pen and a paper, a computer, a keyboard, whatever. But it is entirely just drawing from your own heart, drawing from your own mind, drawing from your own life, getting richer and richer the more experiences you have. That door should never close to you. I say this to anyone, people who don't even dream of being a novelist. Never think you can't. Do you know how to type? Do you know how to put together a sentence in the language you speak? Great, you can become a novelist. It's something I think everyone should consider doing at least once in their life. Everybody has some interesting stories to tell. I don't know. Anyways, I'm sad. I'm shook. I'm sad. Giving up my dreams of becoming a novelist? No, no. That is the one thing I do not approve of. Looks like they're talking about their careers / futures. So of course both these guys quite invested in this idea, but in kind of opposite directions. Ryota, of course, reaching out in a state of vulnerability, asking, I just don't know what to do. And Watanabe-kun, big asshole, making fun of him. Underclassmen in our club won an award for her short story. Story is based on her stupid love life. Whoa! Hey, we know this girl! Whoa, that's pretty cool. See, this is something that I really find appealing about stories like this, where there's just kind of a large cast of characters, and they do a really good job of having them have like major life events in the background, you know? It's like we're invested in all these characters, but then the story just deftly weaves in and out of their lives in a way that we're never doubting once that they're all full people going on and doing things when we can't even see them. You know what I'm saying? I just love that sort of thing. So that when something like this pops up, we know who this is. We've had a whole history with her. We've had her whole quote-unquote romance with quote-unquote catcher guy. Karota? Why can I never remember his name? Is that what the story is based on? Her stupid love life? It's called A Sunny Me. Aww. That's great. She got an honorable mention. How did something frivolous as that get appreciated? But my works get jack shit. The industry is dead. Only a second-rate creator would sell fragments of their own experiences. Writing down your own sensibilities is what makes a first-class record go performer. My heart is posing. Whoa! Yugami-kun gets like immediately heated. It's actually shocking how heated he gets so quickly here. And yeah, even to the point of physical confrontation. And here's Chihiro. Look at Chihiro walking past. I didn't even notice her in this first panel at first. This is brilliant. She just, she's had like so far too much. She's had enough of this for 3 lifetimes. She's not getting involved. If you want to live out your life writing words so much, just become a writer. Writer, I never even thought about that. What? Like he's saying, as opposed to a novelist, as opposed to just writing novels of literature, write columns and stuff, as he said. Okay. Well, that's an idea. Just thinking about it. I don't know. I'll take that into consideration and never come back. Finally free. And Chihiro, how am I to read this face? This is, I don't even know. Haven't been able to study well lately. It's because I'm anxious about my future. I've just been spacing out because my mind gets filled by my problems. A fluffy problem like cotton. But it's nice that she's going to him for advice. That's something that I think she has to still every time swallow a bit of her pride to do. Um, but I think she saw firsthand that Yugami-kun, as she noticed last chapter, is actually very observant of people, is actually quite considerate in the advice he gives people. He doesn't give advice offhandedly or without investing himself deeply in it. Hmm. And she doesn't know the half of it. This is something I think I love about this series so much, is that Chihiro isn't necessarily kept at pace with the reader in terms of her opinion of Yugami-kun isn't just sort of magically taking into consideration everything that's been depicted of Yugami-kun. And beyond that, it feels very realistic with the actual reality that we don't see of sitting next to Yugami-kun every single day, having to listen to him ramble on about Rakugo every single day. All I'm saying is that it feels like really refreshing that she likes him less than we do, or at least I do personally. I'm so smitten by Yugami-kun. Because we see kind of a very narrativized version of his life where she has to deal with the enormity of his life and not and there's certain aspects that she doesn't see. There's all sorts of adventures that he's had that she didn't get to see. So when they have these sort of interactions, I always think they're so refreshingly true. They're not kind of the cliched romantic arc conversations where the feelings are like so obvious and so kept just underneath the surface. Here it's like I want to believe in them. I think they make a wonderful couple, and I hope the series ends up going in that direction. But it's still very deep. Like it's still very deep down in their interactions. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, let's get into Yugami-kun's advice. Find the root of the problem. He gives advice on the future. Oh, oh, come on, Watanabe-kun. You know that's not true. Like, is there any reason you think that's true? Shouldn't be giving advice on other people's futures right now. Gotta study. Okay. So this makes sense that the series, which doesn't disinclude any facet of life, would at this time start to focus a lot on studying. Their exams are coming up. They're in their third year. Things are going to be put on hold if they don't have anything to do with entrance exams. That becomes the singular priority in their life, I would imagine. Ah, not going to college off a baseball recommendation. Another talk about the future. This is, of course, his rival, friend, sometimes complete stranger, Hashiyama-kun. Hashiyama? I think that's his name. Who he meets walking past the baseball section. Probably he was heading straight for the baseball section. So yeah, I guess he's going to college off baseball. But Yugami-kun is not. I'm not going for baseball. Quitting while you're ahead, huh? You beat us in the finals, though. No meaning beating your gimped team filled with idiots and no Kanota. I wondered how he would take it. And we saw him really briefly during the previous chapter, right? He went to the festival as well. But he didn't interact with anybody, and we didn't really know how he was feeling about the finals. He just had another moment of Chihiro angst, of course. I wanted to make a perfect you surrender and make you acknowledge my power. What the hell do you think of me? See, I think you're a good pitcher. Oh, he's so good. He's so deflating. His power to deflate these situations is just unmatched. And it's so perfect, too. Like, it's not an unnatural deflation. It's not like he's behaving so abnormally. It's like bringing things down to the level of reality. Like, yeah, you're a good pitcher. Oh, that's so funny. 0.1 seconds after turning her away. And the smile emerges. All right. Oh, here he is in his Peace t-shirt that he was wearing on the cover page. Looks like he just got out of the bath. So he's like slicked down. Should give up being a Rakugo performer. Whew. Is that his, like, dream? It's true. We really don't know very much about what he wants in the future. He's very interested in Rakugo. He performed Rakugo once during the cultural festival. But it seems, at least to me, more that he had just such a deep passion for appreciation of Rakugo. I didn't know how seriously he actually wanted to pursue it himself. I kind of thought his aspiration, I don't know why I thought this. I think I'm just extrapolating based on like people I know in real life that remind me of him. That I thought he would just want like a normal good job. Just a normal good well-paying steady job. I don't know. I don't know why I assumed that. It takes 15 years to headline as a Rakugo performer. I may not be around for that long. I'm becoming a professional baseball player. That me at the semifinals, didn't you? Oh no. Her heart will break if he tells her the truth. That he was looking at Chihiro-san, who loves the cattails in the dish. Cattails in this dish are so delicious. That's a nice cat, boss. I want you to look at me at Yankee Stadium. You skipped the, yeah, that's a ways away. I don't think even the best Japanese players aren't necessarily recruited into the MLB. I think that's quite a rare occurrence. Not that I think Japan has weaker players overall. My understanding is that they're actually kind of competitive with each other. Not that they ever play against each other. I don't know. Why am I trying to talk about this as if I know anything? I know like literally nothing. All I know is that this is a very outlandish thing to say. Making reference to Yankee Stadium here. Oh, his poor grandma. No comment. Whoa. I think the little sister, through a wide variety of misunderstandings and then those misunderstandings being resolved, still has some lingering suspicions about his feelings for Chihiro-san. As do we all. Don't need your meddling. The person seriously thinking about me most in the world is me. Can't see yourself without other people, Yuji. So I wonder what he really wants to do. Because it seems like he's not acknowledging that his grandma is even right about being a Rakugo performer. Right? He's just kind of arguing her point by point. He's not confirming or denying that that's actually what he wants to do. So Chihiro in the handicraft room, studying. No, she's doing some exercise. When you don't understand your feelings, put it into words and write it on a piece of paper over and over again. She'll get a flash of inspiration eventually. So I would do this a lot. If I was feeling stressed, if I was feeling overwhelmed, I would make a list of like everything I was thinking about and try to like rank them in terms of how often I thought they were like on my mind, how much of my mind they seemed to be occupying. Sometimes I would even draw a picture of a brain and make like a pie graph of all of the things that were concerning me at the time. It is, I think, helpful because then, I don't know, it's like in certain situations you feel like you can never complete this list, that more and more things keep coming to mind. And that can be quite a dreadful feeling. But if you actually stick it out and make a list that you look at and you're satisfied with, and you can say, all right, at least for right now, this is it. These are the problems of my life. That can give you quite a good sense of control. And then you can just actually look at them. And what's especially helpful is if you do kind of like rank them out or something, you can realize like, oh, you know, there's some big problems on this list that are taking up a lot of my brain. But look now down here near the bottom. I know this has been bugging me, even though I'm giving it only like 2% of my brain. Isn't this actually a problem I can solve? Isn't this something I can actually do something about? And then it becomes quite empowering too, that you can be like, I'm going to cross this off the list. I'm actually going to just figure this one out. And you won't be able to do that for the whole list, of course. But there might be one or two things, maybe some of the more minor things. But as soon as you start crossing off that things off that list, it feels really, really good. So what is Chihiro's list looking like? Path of life, career, starting anew, friends, human relations, dreams, problems regarding my future, farewells, encounters, a job for life. Whew! Yeah, those are some tough ones. The thing is, though, like a lot of these are kind of redundant, you know, that she's thinking about the same problem like in 5 stages, and she's concerned about each of those 5 stages. Why not just worry about the first stage, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder what's gnawing on my mind. I don't see love anywhere here. Rats. I just ship them so much. Close to retirement, right? When am I gonna start being alone? Aw. So yeah, retirement, of course. You've probably seen another series. Third years in Japanese high school eventually retire from their club activities. They stop going to club well before the school year actually ends because they're just going to focus on studying. It's quite sad. Figured out my real problem. It looks like I was distracted because I was worrying about leaving Yugami-kun, Yugami-san, I'm sorry, Nogami, all alone in the handicrafts club. Turns out I know a lot less about myself than I thought, but I think I got my feelings in order now because you heard me out. Thank you, Yugami-kun. She can say thank you to him so easily, but when he says thank you to her, he gets so flustered and won't even repeat it when she doesn't quite hear. I don't know if this is right, though. Like, I don't know if that actually is what's bothering her to such a serious extent. I think it's something that she just didn't think to put on the list. Or at least she didn't explicitly single out on the list. So when she realizes it, oh, this is like a missing piece, my other worries must be miles away. No, you probably have all of those worries too. It's just that this one being new actually just adds to your list. You'll be able to see yourself without others. Is he going to talk to her about his future? Oh my gosh, I think he will. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. No, he's just on a rampage. He's on an advice rampage. And this is good, again. We see here Yugami-kun's true human observation qualities. Even though he doesn't care about other people sometimes, he knows them. Kind of looks like you're anxious about the future. Accurate. And then another good round of advice, apparently. He could be a therapist. He could be a career counselor. But he could be so much to so many people. What will his future hold? I've been forcefully mixing my likes with my future, and it's stopped my progression. I wonder what that means. Chihiro looking on in confusion. She's like, can I have my desk back? Feels my problems with my future is solved. Thank you, Yugami-kun. Whoa! Weight off my shoulders. You're talking to him if you have problems too. So at first he was dismissive. He's only becoming so invested in the conversation because it's a girl. No. It's because it's Yugami-kun. So how will he respond to this? Tell you about my future face to face with him is a little. I don't have any of that except for the girls. Oh, come on. Then I'll tell you. Then you'll know how much Yugami actually plays your mind. Okay. I feel like this isn't going to work. I feel like this is when Yugami will break down. Can't narrow my choices college, so I'm trouble. It's got to do my future after all. I wonder if these typos reflect typos in the original. That sounds very appropriate for this character. But I don't know. It could be a scanlation error too. I don't know. Whether I go to a national school in the countryside or a private school in Tokyo, there wouldn't be many girls if I continue with science. Is this really how you're framing your problems? I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be so dismissive. People do really seriously care about being in a relationship, about meeting people they're attracted to. Don't those people have hobbies? Don't these normies out there have anything better to do? Anyways. Whoa, the word is spreading. Asking Yugami for advice. Okay. So will they get in on it too? These are people that Yugami has like never interacted with. So I'm not sure if he would be willing to hear them out even. Sounds like you just want to be popular with the ladies. Why not go to a school with lots of girls? Done! That's it! Like, what more could he possibly want? If he's gonna take it that seriously, if that's the worry, the concern that keeps emerging when he's considering what he should do in his future, yeah, act in accordance with that. Why not? Making sense that someone who broke their way through obstacles could see reality. Trust in his baseball abilities. Oh, my future too. Shit on you too. Oh my god, this is gonna be like a full-time job for him. And it's really funny because at the start of the chapter, he was so pissed off at the novelist, even though he gave him good advice or advice that made him happy at least. He was like so happy to see the end of him, and now he's been replaced like 5 times over with some of these people who are just outright strangers. And now Yugami-kun is just taking all comers, I guess. I don't think that suits his personality at all. um, pretty spooky. I feel a little concerned for him. I also am concerned that this advice actually isn't so good. It's more just that, like, by hearing any advice, these people feel alleviated briefly. Like, I feel like Chihiro, she's still gonna end up really worried about the things she was initially worried about. And although it seems like he gave some heartfelt, well thought out advice to Ryota, I'm sure that it's not like a complete action plan. Like it's vague enough that he's gonna still turn around and be like, wait, so what do I actually do now that I know this? And I mean, Watanabe-kun, yeah, probably. You should just go to a school with a lot of girls if that's really what you care about. But the real solution is you need to get your head back into your head and not in your pants and try to figure out what you actually want to do and not just be going around chasing girls all the time, right? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like not quite complete. I don't know. Who are these people? It's the future again. Use them as a reference for my own future. Interesting. What is this outfit he's wearing? It's pretty cool. It looks very old-fashioned. Holy crap! Yeah, so this is like, oh my god, oh no. This is at all, like, not at all surprising. Not at all surprising. Because even if he is giving good advice to the people to whom we've seen him give advice, there's no way he's actually like batting 100. Baseball analogy. How appropriate. He's he's going to end up really pissing off some people, I'm sure. Did you tell something Yugami-kun's email? Guy has no emotion, so his advice is spot on. We told those 2. We also only told those 3. We only told the underclassmen in our club. His email is completely leaked. What a crisis! I think so. I think this is hilarious. The picture Yugami-kun sitting in his back corner, just frantically like texting the whole time. And then Ryota is like slowly, it's dawning on him just how much his email has leaked and like spread around the school. But Yugami-kun like really doesn't understand how this happened, nor does he really seem to care. He's just frantically deleting emails all the time. And something about, I don't know, just like surveying the whole classroom in this scenario. The whole time, like he's ignoring everyone else and just sitting back there. Delete, 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 delete. Oh. Yugami-kun is a small-time celebrity, so he's probably getting a lot of email ridiculing him. So this is cool too, because we saw at the very start of the chapter a perfect example of how rude people can be when they're anonymized and through the internet. So it's like we're kind of seeing the full circle of this, It's like well established, like what exactly the hate is that he's getting. Oh, poor Ryota. Shouldn't ever have trusted Watanabe-kun. Getting all those texts because I leaked your email. How can I make it up to you? Oh? So he's thinking. His phone is just constantly vibrating. He stands up. Oh my god! Oh my god! I love it! I love it! I love it! I love it! He just threw his phone! Oh my god! This is like, to me, this is the essential fantasy of the modern era. Is throwing your phone from a very hard place, very, very far away. And I mean, for most of us, it's a very just symbolic gesture because, at least for me, there's very few people who contact me exclusively through my phone number, you know, like just a few relatives. And every other way that I have of contacting people that I use my phone for is just replicated on my desktop. So it's not like anything would change. It's not like I would actually get out of anything. But the symbolic gesture can't be underestimated. I've been listening a lot to 100 Gex, which is some truly bizarre music. But they have a song where one of the lyrics is she goes, I might just throw my phone into the lake, yeah. And I was like, ah, oh, she gets it. She gets it. This kind of almost primal fantasy brought about by the most sophisticated of technology. It just vibrated as soon as I picked it up. What are the odds? And something about how plausible it feels to just chuck it, whoosh, like as hard as you can out the window or whatever. You could do it. I do get satisfaction just chucking it around the house at soft things that aren't going to hurt it. It did kind of hurt Pusheen though. You can see the dent it made when it hit. Poor Pusheen. Yeah. He's really throwing his phone though. Oh my god. And with the force of a national level pitcher. And for him, of course, it's much more than a symbolic gesture. Because everyone just had his phone number. So after this, it's gone. I love it. I love it. I thought every time I think I've seen the moment that this series like truly made me fall in love with it, I'm outmatched again. The cell phone Yugami-kun sent sky high, descended, painting a gentle curve right into the school pool, more than 100 meters away from our class. Struck right where I aimed. He shot strike. That's so good. Why did you throw that away? Oh, 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 oh my god. Oh, I love it so much. Strike. I can't see myself without others. I realized something from consulting all kinds of people. I especially don't want any unnecessary relationships. I have no need for a cell phone. Done. Wow. Only use it for the club, so I don't need it anymore. Yeah, club activities are over for him. He's just done. No more cell phone. Oh, I love it. Okay, and one of my other like all-time favorite moments of the series, one that I think like I'm probably never gonna stop thinking about in some context, is when Chihiro is feuding with him. She cuts him off and just gives him a totally blank, silent treatment. And then she starts to feel bad. She kind of misunderstood the situation. She comes around. And then she writes a message apologizing to him. Right? It's kind of like a paragraph long message that kind of explains why she did what she did. And he just replies, got it. I think like wakata. Got it. Oh, so good. And like, so that's one of my favorite moments. It came from him using the cell phone. And now it's like undone. Like, because he just threw it out the window. Look at this. He's so great. Okay, if you regret, I'll never regret it. Clearly threw the phone because he got fed up with all the problems it caused. So it really is my fault. I'll reimburse you for your phone. That's nice of him. What a nice guy. Making all these offers and stuff. But I don't think he'll take his money. No. Yugami-kun's back spoke. Fretting over me is annoying. Don't worry about it. So I think all of this narration is like Chihiro's, right? I always assume that. in cases like this. Sometimes it's a little more explicitly hers. Other times it's more vague and stuff. And there's sometimes narration that definitely couldn't be hers because she's not there. It's just Yugami-kun doing stuff. But in a situation like this, I think it's her observations, which is quite nice. She knows him so well. I feel so refreshed. Oh man. Oh man. I can't believe he did it. It's so perfect. Strike! It's so, oh, I'm so happy. Okay, all right, another great chapter. I love this series so much. I really hope that if there's people who clicked on this video out of curiosity or whatever, you go back and you read the whole thing. It's not like major spoilers, you know, it's not a series that you can get spoiled on, but I want to do whatever I can to recommend the series to people. I think it's just fantastic. Okay, that's all for now. Bye bye.